Good morning and welcome to this episode of Inside Texoma. I'm Melissa Kakarika, and right now I'm joined by Officer Joseph Robeson and Officer Brian Bond from Crime Stoppers. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Now we hear so much about Crime Stoppers. I want to go over a little bit of some of the programs that you do and all that you do for the community to help stop crime. So let's talk a little bit about your programs and just kind of how successful you've been.
Crime Stoppers was brought in Wichita Falls in 1981. It was started in Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe in 1978. Since 1981, we've been able to work with the communities in Clay Archer and Wichita Falls, or Wichita County, excuse me. And then we have paid almost $1 million out in rewards, in capturing fugitives and felony folks like that.
And there's a lot of different ways you do that. I mean, there's Texoma's Most Wanted, Manhunt Monday, stuff like that.
Right. We also feature a Crime of the Week every week. We have a Campus Crime Stoppers program that's in all the high schools and junior highs within Wichita Falls and the outlying communities of Archer and Clay also.
And now is the youth a focus you're trying to focus on with some of those programs, stopping crime early, I would imagine?
Yeah, that and just making sure that we keep in the crime and stuff out of the schools with so many different violent acts happening across the country in schools. We want to make sure that we do everything we can do to keep something like that from happening within our communities here.
Are there any crimes in our communities that you see more often than others? Anything that seems to be popping up as a trend recently?
No, I mean, identity theft's a big crime that's committed right now. You always have your rash of burglaries and thefts, so that's probably more what we see.
And I know you guys are always looking for new programs, new ways to kind of connect with the public, and you do have one that you're pushing today. It's a texting program. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we picked up a new program last year called Tips Off. It allows us to connect with the younger generation, and most of the younger people, they like to text instead of picking up the phone and just talking to people. And we realized that, so we bought the program, and it allows us to, for people who can text us a tip, we'll take that information just like we still do with calling in a tip as well. So it works well, it reaches a broader group of people.
And now are you headed out into the schools to try to get that program going and get more kids active? How are you kind of promoting that with the kids?
We've already got that in the schools now. One of the neat deals with that program is people can actually, with the smartphones, they can actually take a picture of the crime or the person that may be wanted and send it in with the tip. It's a pretty simple program, and the kids like it. That's how they communicate nowadays. It's pretty simple. They just do their tip and then send it to Crimes, which is actually 274-637, and send it to us, and we'll get it there in the office.
And has that program been picking up? It seems like you guys are getting some good success with it, right?
It has been. We find that we get more and more each month.
And it's always anonymous.
Correct.
And that goes for any tip called into
Right.
Crime Stoppers.
It's always anonymous, and that's the great thing about Crime Stoppers. It's the community helping out the police departments in the 3 counties that we serve, and we can't do our job without the citizens of the communities helping us, and that way we reward them by paying them some money.
And now how long has this texting program been in place?
We've had it for a year now, just about right at a year.
And you can still call in tips, correct?
Yes, you can. You sure can. If we're not in the office, the calls go over to an answering service, and they'll get the tips and dispatch them from there.
Is there anything you would want people to know, maybe if they're afraid of sending in a tip either by text or by phone call? I know we said it's anonymous, but people might still be a little skittish that, well, what's going to happen if I call it in? What would you want the community to know as far as, helping you guys out?
The big thing with that is a lot of people, caller ID. Yeah, we have caller ID in the office, but the numbers are blocked. So anytime somebody calls us, it shows up private. No numbers show up. We don't want to know their name. We don't ask for their names when they're calling in a tip. We'll have people start to give us their name like it's not what we want. Just give us the information that you're calling about, and then we'll give a code number, and that's how they're recognized so they can collect their rewards on the tips, is that code number.
Have you ever had an instance where somebody texted in or called in a crime kind of while it was happening and kind of got you ahead of the game? Has anything like that ever happened? Or is it more after the fact when you're looking for a suspect?
With ours, it's more after the fact. we don't get too many that happen in the commission of. It's absolutely right.
But any tip is welcome, I hear.
Yes, it is, very much so.
All right, well, we have a lot more to talk about, including the upcoming Cops and Robbers 5K, which everybody is really excited about. I know it's a big fundraiser for you guys. So we're going to talk about how you can register, how it's going to benefit Crime Stoppers, anything else you need to know. So make sure you stay tuned to Inside Texoma. Welcome back to Inside Texoma on this Sunday morning. I'm Melissa Kakarika, and I'm joined by two of our officers from Crime Stoppers, Officer Joseph Robeson and Officer Brian Bond. And Crime Stoppers is gearing up for the big Cops and Robbers 5K. It's going to be the second time that you're doing it. So tell us a little bit about how this is going to work.
This is our second year. We're going to have it at the Impact on the 18th at 9 o'clock. Now you come dressed as a cop or robber. You know, it's a good way to connect with the community. It's close to Halloween. And we're giving away prizes for the best costumes or for a cop and a robber. And all the money that we raise is going to be goes right back into the program.
Talk a little bit about how much it helps you as a fundraising effort.
All the money raised for this event it goes back into our program. It pays the rewards for the tips that we get throughout the year. We have this one. We have our golf tournament, and then we have one in the spring for our campus program. That's the Moonlight Stampede that we hold there at Midwestern. This is probably one of the biggest fundraisers that we have. We get local vendors to come out and companies to come out there and set up their booths, and we'll have DJs. People will come out. We encourage everybody, if you got a pet that you want to bring out, several people brought their pets last year, and even the pets were dressed up in costumes, so
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I'm sure. And now if people want to register, how does that work?
You can go to active.com and register and look for the Cops and Robbers 5K Pursuit. When you register as a cop or robber. So it's fun. It's a good family event. We have some big name vendors coming out. McDonald's will be there. Chick-fil-A will come out. Sonic.
Oh my goodness, several, and I think Foot Locker's coming out.
Yeah, Finish Line.
Finish Line.
Finish Line's coming out. Just a lot of the community. We have some small, like Keno's Beef Jerky, and then Avocare. Just a lot of big businesses, big vendors are going to come out and support the race and support our cause. Crime Stoppers.
And I imagine when people register, there obviously is a fee since it is a fundraiser. So let's talk about how much money you need to save up if you want to participate.
Okay. Well, as an adult, it's going to be $30. Then if you're in military or active military, it's $25. And if you have a group of 10 or more, we're also offering discounts as well. So if you can get a group of 10 people and register under a team name, then we'll give you a discount of $25. Then children 6 and under are free. So if you have small children, bring them out, and then we'll have a good time. And then 12 and up is going to be $20 for children. 12 to 15.
And if you register the day of the race, it'll be $40, which we'll take registrations that morning before the race.
So a little bit extra. And I believe you said there was also going to be, in addition to the vendors, is there, like a t-shirt that you get, and there's donuts and things like that as well after you complete the race?
Right. Yeah, we kind of poke fun at ourselves a little bit during this, and everybody that finishes the race, we'll provide donuts. Circle M Bakery is going to provide donuts for everybody. And that was even some of the costumes that people wore last year.
Yeah.
They came dressed up as donuts. We'll have displays of all the different law enforcement vehicles from Wichita, Archer, and Clay counties. They'll come out. They'll be able to see some of the SWAT vehicles that come out. Our big command post will be out there. We're going to have some new additions this year. People have to come out and see. Just kind of a surprise that things that we've added this year. It's just an enjoyable time. I think they're going to do some activities before, some Zumba activities, some warm-up activities, and we will have crime scenes set up throughout the course in the alleyways, different crime scenes set up. The Wichita Theater is going to come out and help us, some of the theater students from Midwestern. We'll have some face painting for the kids that come out. We're going to pass different historical points downtown Wichita Falls, like the Kell House and different areas like that. The Railroad Museum downtown. We'll go by the Farmers Market, the little skyscraper. So they'll be able to see a little bit of history with Wichita Falls.
And that was something that we intentionally did this year, was to change our route. So that way, with all the historical points in Wichita Falls, especially downtown, they may have heard of them, but they've never actually been by there. So we intentionally, made our route to where they would go by there and see those. So maybe later, when after the race is over, like, hey, we ran by that place, let's go check it out. So that also helps out the city itself.
So it seems like you guys did build upon the first annual Cops and Robbers 5K last year, but last year was very successful for you guys, was it not?
It was. We had almost 200 runners last year. We probably had 400 to 500 people out there. So with our first year, we were very happy with that. So every year we're looking to double, the amount of runners and the people that come and visit.
And I imagine it's something you want to keep doing every fall, right?
Absolutely.
We do. Like I said, we've gotten a lot of support from the community. A lot of the, Downtown Proud is helps out. The ladies and gentlemen with Hot Heart and Hell have been big supporters with us. I think they're going to even come out and set up a booth because they sponsor different activities other than the bike ride. They do runs and stuff throughout town, so they're going to come out and help us out. And they're big, sponsors and supporters of us, push and help get things set up.
Now, any guidelines on the costume? I know it's pretty vague, cop or robber, but any best costumes you saw last year? Any guidelines for this year for people who are getting their costume ready?
Just be creative. We had one of our costume winners last year was a young boy who dressed up like a donut. It was cute. And then we had some people dress up as the Ghostbusters. They came out as the Marshmallow Man, and they had the Ghostbusters outfit. And speaking of that, that's something new that we've added this year. We've had the Ghostbusters are going to be there as well. So
Ghostbusters and Crime Stoppers together.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah, they do a good job in the community, going around with the little kids and visiting kids that are in the hospital, and we've teamed up on some car shows and stuff. And so we've asked them to come out and join us. They're a big hit with the kids around town, so we've asked them to come out and join us.
All right, and just a family-friendly event. Kids, pets, pretty much anyone can participate, right?
Yes,
Exactly. Come out. Like I said, we'll have fruit out for the runners and some just snacks when they're done. Water. We'll have a rest stop throughout the course for them, for the pets. Just come out and have a good time. That's what we're encouraging everybody to do.
And all the police vehicles that are going to be there, it's like an open house. So all the kids that want to visit with the police officers and look at the vehicles. We're bringing out our SWAT vehicles as well. And the kids really enjoy seeing those and seeing the police in a different light. So, and that's what we try to push.
Absolutely. Well, make sure you stay tuned to Inside Texoma. We're going to have much more coming up with Officer Vaughn and Officer Robeson. So stay tuned.